my great pleasure to welcome you to this Nest Insight Conference 2018, our third annual conference.
For me, the key takeaway, I think, were twofold. One, from the conference, the multitude and the multi-tiered approach of solving this pension crisis, or at least problem.
Auto-enrolment has clearly extended pension saving coverage across the labour market. But gaps remain, and although the Commission made a reference to the emerging evidence of self-employment, it has clearly risen significantly, and 15% of the labour force is now self-employed, with a growing pension savings gap.
We're always particularly interested in the evolution of investment behavior within workplace pension schemes because of their sort of central role in providing financial security for the average individual or average household. And we're really delighted to be partnering with Will and the team on not only this publication, but on other future research to come.
We at the Aspen Institute are super excited about partnering with Nest Insight. For one thing, obviously the data asset, the over 6 million members that Nest is serving, and the potential to really learn a lot about those consumers and why they're saving for retirement, how it's affecting their overall financial health.
One of the things I most was impressed by was the ability for every panel to really pull through the importance of serving each member as an individual and meeting them where they are with their savings goals and objectives, and I was really impressed by that.
But how quickly, if you're willing to experiment with the proper safeguards, how quickly you can learn a lot about what would drive members to save.
Possibly the big one for me was about technology and the role that technology can play in two ways. So firstly, in thinking about how we on the kind of provider side can use the growing use of digital as the method of engaging our customers to try stuff out and figure out what works quickly, fail quickly, and then move on to the things that we know that works.
It was about the people, the creativity, the diversity of thought. We had presentations about data, we had presentations about investor behaviour.
Who are the people who are not benefiting from auto-enrolment, which I actually think is one of the great successes of auto-enrolment, is people very rarely come to me to tell me that there's a group that's in that should be out. They now come to me to tell me there are groups that are out which should be in. And that is a massive change in the culture and the approach that we've got for retirement savings.
And then I think the second big thing about technology is big data and how we can, as we amass data on, in our case, 6.8 million customers, the sorts of things that can now be done to interrogate that data and understand what our customers need from us using the data that they provide to us.
Nest is addressing concerns that are kind of at the forefront of folks who are self-employed, because as we move to more gig economy, that is going to be more of an issue. Of course, then folks who are just making ends meet, so the lower income folks. And so these non-traditional groups that have largely been ignored, Nest is right at the forefront as our economy moves towards that across the world.
If we're actually trying to help design products that will get people safely to the end of their journey, and do so in a way that keeps them engaged and not afraid of what's going on, we think it's incredibly important to understand both the data that informs patterns of behavior and helps us understand what people actually do, as well as the behavioral sort of nudges and behavioral science that we heard so much about earlier this morning.
Such a pleasure to work with staff on Nest Insight. They're super responsive, super inquisitive, and I think it's inspiring the way that they are pursuing truth kind of no matter what it tells them. So there's a real sense of kind of a think tank for the public good, and they're trying to learn insights that can then be shared with the world.